I've got another deck profile for you. It's Green Cooler. You might have seen the matchup of Cooler versus Goku Black slash Dynasty on the channel a couple days ago. This is the deck I'm currently maining at the moment, trying to learn, trying to get my head around. This is a very different twist on the deck as opposed to what you normally see is a very degenerate hand rip deck is currently the meta version of the deck, or I don't want to say meta version, but you'll see topping the most is a very heavy hand control variant of this deck. I don't like to play hand control. I like to play aggro, and this deck definitely offers a lot in the way of heavy aggro, hyper aggro decks. And if you don't want to play hand rip, but you're really interested in this leader, I think this is a very solid variant of the aggro deck list for Cooler. So basically, what does the leader do if you've never seen him before? Is autos that you add one card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, you may draw a card. If you don't, you put the green unison card with a specified cost of 1 from your hand with a marker on it. You're probably a lot of the time going to be opting to replace the unison, just because once per turn when one of your green unison cards is placed in your drop area, you get to draw a card. So combining those two effects, you get, to have your cake and eat it. You get to play a unison for free, and you get to draw a card. When he awakens, he's got pretty much the most generic awaken effect is when your life is at 4 or less, untap and draw, which is quite surprising considering a lot of the new decks, a lot of the more competitively designed decks, usually have an alt awaken condition, but this is just your standard life is at 4, which is kind of a shame. I thought it would be something fun to do with unisons, getting so many unisons in the drop, or getting unison up to a certain amount of markers I thought would cause it to awaken, but maybe that caused the deck to be way too unbalanced. I'm not sure. But when he awakens, there's not much difference, except for the fact that you don't take a life to either draw or play a unison for free, and you can combo a unison from hand for a leader or unison swing. So essentially all the unisons in hand gets plus 5,000 combo power when you are attacking, or when one of your green unison card is placed in your draw. When discard one green unison card from your hand, choose this card. You can either choose during the so basically you can discard one green unison card from your hand, choose this card, or up to one of your green unison cards, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the battle. So as far as I'm aware, you can discard more than one for the activate battle. You can discard 3 if you want to protect your leader. So yeah, it's pretty handy, especially because this deck doesn't do an awful lot of draw. I'm going to start off by showing off 2 Dormant Potential Unleashed, 2 Homicidal Clones, 2 Son Goku Spirit Bomb Boosted, and Son Gohan Hidden Might. So for a cooler deck, not an awful lot of cooler stuff going on here. Dormant Potential is played in every green deck. Most people play it at 4. I want to win the game as fast as possible, and Dormant does not help me do that. Drawing it when I need plus 5,000 power combo, or I need something to push me over the edge, is incredibly frustrating. But I play that too because it has a removal ability that allows me to do other plays. And also, if I'm playing U7 Goku or something like that, it usually does really help to be able to counterattack, and they only have one more attack after that. Dormant's very good. Homicidal Clones can then defend you against that second attack. Strong heavy control gets you a blocker, and can stop double strike. So Homicidal Clones is a great card, but again, similar to Dormant, I'm playing heavy aggro. I want to win as fast as possible. Turn 3 or turn 4, I don't want to be drawing cards that I can't combo with or play. Son Goku Spirit Bomb Unleashed, I'm playing 2 of. He's very good in this deck because you always have enough markers. Taking 2 markers away from unison rarely results in you not being able to empower and do the empower effects. So usually you're left with 2 redundant markers that Goku can happily gobble up and get that double strike plus 5,000 power swing that your opponent will so desperately want to avoid. And then Son Gohan Hidden Might, the most underrated, most forgotten about green staple card there is, because when your life is at 3 or less, and this is a heavy aggro deck, you're going to be ripping to your life a lot. So he comes live pretty quickly. You'll more than likely play him on turn 3 to try and win the game. He has deflect, so he's pretty much guaranteed to hit the board, and he's got double strike. And the fact is that when you get to play him, you get to blow up one of your opponent's boss monsters, because you can choose up one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So that's great. So unless it's a Zamasu, you're good to go. You can also choose up one of your opponent's unison cards and remove marker from it. So that might be the final marker on that Boo card. That might mean he can't use the -1 on his AoD Boo. It might mean he can't use counterplay. He might not be able to use the Merciless Barrage, because suddenly he went from having 2 to 1 marker on his unison. So he's got a lot of utility, a lot of potential, and 25k double strike is nothing to sniff at. So that's some of the same stuff. We'll get a bit more into the old Frieza clan boys. Charismatic Villain. Again, you're going to see in every green deck, so strong if you have a unison on play. Surprise attack Frieza, you might be surprised, you might not be. But with Dormant Potential and Frieza Charismatic Villain and one of the counterplays, this guy's so easy to get out. When you draw him, you're almost guaranteed to be able to play him. 15k crit, but that's not all. He offers even more than just a 15k crit, because you also have a 1-star ball, Parasitic Ball. This card allows you to swing your 15k crit and then essentially just swap him for a double strike, who also can hand rip. So I don't play a lot of this card because this is the only card you can use the Parasitic Ball on. And I don't want to overload on this dude. I could, but there's just so much to cards to want to keep in the deck, and depending on the event, best of one, you might be able to swap Dormants for Surprise Attack Friezas, or if you need to stay more control, you can go vice versa and swap this tech out. But for the most part, I want to win the game as fast as possible, and if I see these cards, because even if I don't have this in hand, or sorry, even if I don't have this in my deck, I can just use these to combo with. So it's very strong in that way, and the fact that you can place this card in the drop area, choose up to your opponent's choose up to one card in your opponent's hand and discard it. Very green, typical green. Really helps. So you can essentially get 15k critical, and then they have one less card in their hand to prevent a double strike 15k, which they'll probably be forced to combo all of. And if you can do it really quickly, because you can essentially do it turn 2, because this guy comes as a free play card if you remove one of your opponent's cards. This is a 0 cost, and this comes out, off of that. So you can do it like, as soon as you can attack, really. So that causes your opponent a lot of problems. And then even if the double strike doesn't come through and they combo through it, then you can remove another card from their hand, really ripping into their hand, forcing them to combo out of a dangerous situation, and then they lose an extra card for all their troubles. Who's the cooler cards? And I'm playing 2 Dodorias. Why am I playing the Dodorias? Simple. It's a heavy aggro strategy. You tap 1 and you get a double strike plus 15k or plus 10k. So it's a 15k double striker, turn 1, and you get to take a life away to help you try and self-awaken yourself, because a lot of people won't allow Cooler to awaken. This guy's similar. I play him at 3. You could easily play him at 4, but he's so easy. He's searchable in the deck. You don't need to be able to have a load of them, and at most you're going to have 2 on the field. So I just don't see it necessary. Cooler Sibling Cruelty, I only play it 2 because you're only probably going to do it once in the game. And I just don't feel with the amount of double strikers in the deck, he's absolutely needed to play at 3, because he has no protection, he doesn't have barrier, he doesn't have God Sealing. A Merciless Barrage can come down to 5k. A lot of decks play him, he comes in and gets put on the rest mode, or he gets bounced back to hand. So I really don't feel like he's absolutely crucial, because you have to wait till turn 3 or 4 more than likely before you get to play him for 1, unless you're just really flicking through your unisons pretty quick by turn 2. So I don't think he's absolutely the bee's knees for this deck. This is we're playing 3 of this super combo and 1 skill steal Chile, just because I want to be able to put a unison or a leader card to rest mode. It's always handy being able to just put certain cards that are needed, especially in this meta, where unison cards are very, very strong, and just being able to switch them to rest mode and stopping them from doing their big play is really, really strong. I also just like playing her because she's Frieza's army. Obviously this deck doesn't really care about Frieza's army, it's all about Frieza clan, but it's also, you know, just to be on team. I'm also playing 3 of the defending Father Paragus. It's the best green super combo because you get to draw 2 before you remove the card, so it just gives you extra options. I'm only playing 2 Demigra. We're jumping into the unisons now. 3 of the boss monster, and then yes, we can get these cards out, man. 4 of the Galactic Dynasty, 4 of Salza, 4 Nez, 2 Door, and then the Cooler Armor Squadron. I'm going to put at the very top. This is a pyramid of unison stuff here. So basically, to do a little rundown for you, he searches out the Cooler, not much more, and it's 15k attack. The 1-drop Cooler, not the 4-drop, unfortunately. He's a phenomenal negate. You get to negate the attack, and then that card, like the thwarting, can't attack on the next turn. So strong. Counterplay, this allows you to bring out surprise attack Frieza. He's essentially a unison charismatic villain, and he empowers 2, and he gains plus 5,000 to attack you for 15k. Use your hand rip card. You're probably going to be citing this out if your opponent has the boars in hand, because your opponent gets to discard a card when he's played, but you get plus 1 and he goes to 20k attack. Here's the card that you're going to want to try and win the game with. He gains plus 10 power, 1000 power, triple strike, and he already has dual attack and blocker, so and he restands himself, so you can do the dual attack and restand just like the, so he'll probably win you the game if you play your cards right. Then you've got the Migra. Most people play it at 4. I don't see the point in playing it at 4 because the card is just kind of rubbish once you awaken, and with this deck you want to awaken just so quickly. You want to get out the gate, and you want to take your own life and just get down to 4 life as fast as possible, and you really don't want to be drawing the Migras when you're going for game, because all you can be used for is plus 5,000 power on your unison or leader swings. So he really does just kind of break you up. That's my experience. I know other people might say differently, but you know, that's just my experience of it. And then this dude, he's just pretty good for getting you out of a tight situation, being able to look up to 7 cards from your deck and getting unison, 1-cost unison to your hand. You get to play the unison, sorry. So you can get you out of a tight situation if you don't have unison, or you get to play up to a green cooler, which the 1-cost cooler will then look at the top 5 and add a 1-cost stand. So it's great for unbricking yourself, but you only need that 1 because you shouldn't be in that situation too often. Furthering Destruction Champa, it's an aggro deck, doing a double strike, always handy. Dark Temptation Toa to add plus 5,000 power to my leader is always appreciated, especially if I'm going to be doing the double strike. That's just 15k right there to my leader. Double swing, and then we add another plus 15,000 and another card hand rip. So if you had all 3 of these cards in your hand, that's game. Like, it would be shocking if your opponent was on 2 life, they let the attack go through, you've already boosted him and ripped the card with your Toa, so your leader is swinging currently with 20k attack, 30k double strike, and then you go up to 45k double strike, and your opponent has even another card that's in their hand. So comboing all that, oof, that's going to be difficult, even if they can. What options will they have left? And then the last two cards, I Fuse the Master. I'm only playing one because I just don't feel the need to play more than one. I'm not a hand rip deck, and I just don't think he's going to come out that often, especially because he doesn't have any protection. A lot of people will target him to put him in rest mode, so I'd rather cards. But he's still very strong, and he's definitely worth playing in the deck. And if you want to play him at 2, I wouldn't say you're wrong. I just find him a bit awkward to try and get out because you need to have a charismatic villain in play, and a lot of people either remove the villain or they rest him. So I wasn't getting a lot of success with the Fuse the Master card. And Invader's Vow, heavily underrated card. You get to blow up pretty much anything really quickly because you get a lot of Frieza Clan cards in your life area or in your drop area, battle area, unison area, and so on. You can KO it. Obviously, this only comes live once your opponent has 3 or more energy, and your opponent has to discard 2 cards. So, in the scenario, also, actually going back a bit, imagine if you had these, all 4 of these cards, your opponent has to discard 4 cards and play through this, because this is an activate battle. So your opponent would be forced to discard on play and then tapping 3. If you had 3 energy open, you're just swinging with your leader. Double swing, and your opponent has so few cards in hand. Very strong, very busted. So that's my cooler deck profile. I hope you liked it. That's how I'm planning on playing the deck going forward, unless I lose a lot. But it's heavy aggro. I've had a lot of success trying to getting the games finished by turn 3 or 4, just applying so much pressure to my opponent that they can't really do much. Even if they manage to get through my swings, they won't have very many cards in hand, is usually what happens. Very strong deck. Put a like on the video and remember to subscribe, and have an awesome day, and goodbye.